Hey, look at that. Yo, Mana got caught trying to fix my camera there while I'm going live on this YouTube here. YouTube there, whatever. But anyways, anyway, we've been on this here a while. We haven't uploaded anything, and I finally, I was thinking of my story there that I wanted to tell, and I was talking to my wife about it. And she says, you need to get on there and you need to tell these folks what you did there. And because it was one of the most interesting times I've had there. It was probably 20 years ago because I'm not a kid anymore. So, but anyway, I lived in Maine there. I was born and brought up there, Brunswick, Maine there. I don't know if you know where that is. It's up on the coast just above Portland there. I think I might have told you this. Is this camera sending this right? Because I'm one of them guys that I'm a clean freak and a nut freak, and everything's got to be done just right. And I thought I had this done before I got on here, but I guess I didn't. I guess that's okay. But anyway, so like I said, I was born and brought up in the state of Maine there. And of course, I did some lobstering, and I've done all that good stuff. But when I was probably 22 years old there, my friend asked me to come up to a house there that he had purchased probably a week or so before. It's one of those fixer-uppers. There's a lot of those up there, a lot of old homes. Of course, there's a lot of people moving from all over the place to Maine for its scenic beauty. But, boy, I'll tell you what, I don't go back there because I'm living in Florida now. I don't like the taxes, you know what I mean? But so I went up there, and I think it was in, I can't even believe it. I can't, Edgecombe, Maine. It's all on the map. You can look her up there, just north of Wiscasset there. And that Wiscasset's just north of Bath. That's how they say that up there, north of Bath. So I did it. Hopefully I did it right. So I was up there in Edgecombe. I met him at one of those Dairy Queens. I love Dairy Queens. So, of course, I have to have my vanilla. Well, sometimes I have a twist, but I got to have it dipped in that chocolate. Oh, gosh, God, I love that. I mean, if you could see my belly, she'll be telling you how many. No, I don't want you to see my belly. So I met him there outside of Edgecombe at a Dairy Queen there. We had us, he saw my car, came in, we had us Dairy Queen. And we were talking about his house, and he said he wanted to go up. How do you say it? I want to show you. He goes there, you old man. He says, I want to show you upstairs there. It's called an attic. You know what an attic is? Of course you do. Down south here, I don't know if there's any attics. I live in one of them 55 pluses. It's mostly mobile homes there. We don't have no attics. All we got is let's see, we got some fire ants, snakes, alligators, all that good stuff, but we don't have no attics. But anyhow, we take off from the Dairy Queen. I followed him. It was only probably 12 miles or so to the north, and I can't even remember now, folks, the town. I know it's I can't remember. I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed. Well, it's no, maybe my age. But anyways, we get up there, right out in the middle of the woods. We left the main road, and we get on one of them dirt roads there, kind of bumpy. But we had to go slow. I don't think we went more than 20 miles an hour on it. So we get up there, and I looked at it, and, of course, this is before I got out of the car. I said to myself, wow, this sure is a fixer-upper. I'm looking at it from one end to the other. I mean, first thing I know, it needed a paint job and all this stuff. So we get out. I mean, I get out of my car and I walk over to him, and he says, what do you think? I said, well, it looks like it needs to be painted, all that stuff. He gave me a tour of the place. There was, I think, 20 acres that came with it. He got it for a song and a dance. Believe me, he can't sing and dance, so he's a pretty lucky guy. Well, he gets in there. I mean, we get in there. He opens up that front door. After we took a jog, just to look around the area, we get inside. And I was looking at the staircase. I'm going, wow, this is nice. This is the old house. He says, yeah, they said it's back in the 1800s or so. And I went, really? 1800s. So we were looking around, and of course, every room needs work. Have you guys ever seen what do they call it? Lies. You know, it's those small strips there, and they put what do they call it there, folks? Give me a help there. White stuff they put over the lies there. It's like sheetrock, but of course nowadays we have sheetrock. Then it was just. Anyways, that's all them walls were. You can look around and you can see some of the lies coming up down through the ceiling there, some over on that wall, I believe. But on the second floor, we get up there and I'm looking around. I'm going, yeah, how long do you think this is going to take you to get this all fixed up there so you can move? Because it's a beautiful piece of land. I don't know why he didn't just bulldoze it over and put no house here, but he didn't want to do that. He liked the architecture. So of the outside and of course the inside, the fireplaces were really cool. I forgot to tell you about that, but I'll tell you that later when we come back down the stairs. We went upstairs and he showed me everything, and he says, up there, you see that? That's where the attic is. I went, really? I didn't know it was upstairs. So we went up there, got one of them little ladders there, and we went up there and looked around. Of course, he had one of them nice flashlights there, those real bright ones there. Police officers use. I used to use them all the time when I worked for the sheriff's department down here. And boy, we was looking, and you could smell the dampness and kind of I don't know if it's dampness is the word, but the old smell. You know what I mean? That wood gives when it's old. And we were looking, and he was shining that light around there, and something caught my eye. It was kind of like a little. I don't know, not a flash, but something. I said, hey, Beverly, put that light back over to your left. And he put it back over. And I had to be careful because there's no floor really to walk on. It's just those beams there, those 2-inch wide beams there. You got to be careful. They're only 1.5 feet or 2 feet apart. So you got to walk real careful. So I get over there, and it was plastic there, and I pulled it out, and it was I don't know, maybe 4 foot long, maybe, all wrapped up in this kind of plastic. And he says, I never saw that. I never really looked up here before. Well, anyways, we took it downstairs, and he still had one of them little tables set down there. One of them old things. I don't know what it is. Something you're gonna throw out anyways. It was really no good. We put that on there. It was he opens it up, and it was a map. And he goes, wow, I ain't seen that. Look at that, it's a map. And we're looking at it, and we could tell it was old. I mean, it was all kind of yellow, and it was written in, you could tell it was written in, what do you call those? Do you dip the thing in there, get the ink out? You know what I mean? Ink pen, is that it? You know, you dip the pen in, and then you pull out, and you start writing a little bit, and then you got to dip it back in. You could tell it was written in that, like the Declarations of Independence, because you could see the big blobs of ink on it. That's how you know. This is how we could tell. And it looked like, I know you're going to laugh, I know, but just hear me through first. It looked like a treasure map, okay? So we were looking at it, and it looked like a drawing of the state of Maine. Some of it was faded out there. And as we looked up north, up towards they call it the Allagash, because you could clearly see where they looked like they were trying to draw a river. And then it showed some, what was it? Some railroad tracks or something. And then it looked like 250, and it really looked like an X. And I says, what the heck? This is buried up here in your attic. I wonder if this is real. He says, well, that's quite a ways up there, Yomina. It's probably at least 2 hours from here, maybe more. And I said, we got to go check it out. I got a few days coming off there. I mean, I can take a few days off of my job in a couple of 3 weeks. I can't remember why I said that, but the way my job was back there, you work so many days and you and you get so many hours off. It's annual leave, sick leave, and all that stuff. So I think we figured and planned for 3 weeks because we went downstairs and we looked at the living room. I wanted to tell you about his fireplace. Oh my God, now I know why he bought the place. Fireplace is something I can't even begin to describe it. It must be worth a fortune, I would think, but for what he spent alone would be worth a fireplace. And so now let me get back to the morning before we got ready to leave. I got all my stuff packed up. We're going to take his car because he's got one of them SUVs, where 4-wheeler, it go anywhere, I guess, and not get stuck. Like one of them Humvees there, but it's not Humvee. So, okay, I better hurry up. I've been on here for a while. I don't like to rush these stories because I want to make sure you know everything that happened to us because it was really something. So we drive up to where it looked like the railroad tracks would be, because to the right-hand side of where the railroad tracks were coming down, it showed like a pond, and we couldn't read it, but it looked like it began with a B. It looked like a B. Well, anyways, we didn't know what to do when we got up there. We thought we didn't see no railroad tracks. Didn't see any. But we come up on this, it looked like a good-sized pond. And there was a name alongside the road there, and it said Beaver Pond. I said, well, that began with a B. Maybe this is what it means. Well, listen, we don't know what else to do, so let's try this. And wouldn't you know it, right by that Beaver Pond on the other side, just like that map showed, was like a dirt road or a logging road. It didn't look too bad. And he says, well, let's follow this because it looks like it goes up. See, the tracks come down like this, and then it curves where we are, goes a little ways, and then it goes up. And then up there is where that X is, or it looked like an X to us. So we're driving along kind of slow, 15 miles an hour. And you wouldn't believe it. We saw a moose right in the middle of the road. I swear to God, he was as big as the Empire State Building. He's huge. And his antlers are 30 feet long. Now, I'm exaggerating, but when you come up against a monster like that, you ain't stand a chance. So he just looked at us like, yeah, we knew he was bigger than us. And we were going to do whatever he wanted. Well, he kind of slowly plowed his way through the woods, as they do, because they can, and he didn't mind us that much at all. And so we went by him, and I was looking at him, and that was pretty cool. We saw one deer, because Maine's full of deer. And what else we see? Of course, we see tons of gray squirrels. They're everywhere. We get up to a spot. We've been driving for a good 3 hours. And my friend says, it's a good thing we brought a tent and everything. We did. I forgot to tell you that. We brought us a tent. We brought us all kinds of stuff, survival food, good stuff. You just can add a little bit of water there, and you make sure you keep, fed and stuff like that. We brought how much did he bring? I think he brought 10 gallons of water in those 5-gallon things there. You see, those 5-gallon water jugs there, you flip upside down. He brought 2 of those, and one of them little pumps you can stick inside there. So we had 10 gallons of water, plus we had all kinds of food. So we get to this spot. He says, look, it looks like it deviates up through that area. And I says, well, there's no road. But and I said, but look, I know this sounds really strange that we have to stop at the exact spot, but I'm telling you, we did. When we were talking, I was looking at him. I says, well, because he was driving. I was looking over to my left. I was talking to him. And I kind of noticed something again I looked and says, it looks like a little small road went through here. It's all growed up and everything. And he looks down and he says, you know what? He says, look at that. And I couldn't see because I couldn't. So I got out and walked around, and you know what that was? It was railroad tracks. I couldn't believe it. We thought, this was just a big stab in the dark. It would be like us playing the lottery and winning it twice in a row. What's that chance? What's the chances of us finding one of them things? Railroad tracks right there, just what we're looking for. Well, I couldn't believe it. So we pulled the car over a little way. But, you know, when you're looking at that road, you could tell there was nobody on this. Hadn't been anybody up here ever, probably in months, if not years. So we didn't have any problems. But there was a little area we could pull off, and anybody wanted to either go up and back or whatever, that we had plenty of room. So we locked up the car. We put our backpack, carried quite a bit with us. He had a good-sized canteen with him, so did I. And I bet that damn thing carried probably both of ours a good 2 gallons of water. So we were all set. So we headed off, and sure enough, every once in a while, we'd see the track come out through. I mean, up through the overgrowth or whatever. It was wore off. Usually it was by where a stream you could see had come through. It was kind of the dry season. And that's where we saw the tracks. Didn't see them, but you could see a slight clearing. You could almost imagine you could see that railroad track anyways, but there was no railroad ties left and nothing, just the regular ties. But they were a lot wider, it looked like to me, than like the railroad tracks you see today. It was wider. And so we followed these tracks for a while. And he says, you know, when we were looking at that map, he says, we should be getting pretty close to that area. We're, you know, how much longer do you think we should walk? He goes. I went, well, I mean, we got a couple of days anyways. It's only 3 hours back home. So let's just keep walking let's follow the tracks. So we follow the tracks. What, you know, believe it or not, even after all these years, let's see, 18 something, 19, well, almost 200 years, maybe 200 years anyway, you could still follow where that track was laid. But then it showed a little place we had a bear to the right. And I don't know why we did walk straight past that, but we walked straight past that and come to find out it was like a cutoff because the tracks went up and then around, and the cutoff was here, and we should have gone that way. We didn't. We went up and around. Well, I don't know. Wasn't very long after that we could see something up in the head, but it was hard to see at first because the trees were so thick up there. I mean, and of course the black flies was just about chew you away. We had one of them nets over our face there to keep them damn things away from us. It was some places it was horrible. We had to have our arms covered up and everything. So we could see it getting closer and closer, and I looked at him and I looked back and I said, oh my God, that looks like not one, but 2 trains. And we looked, and as we got to it, we could see all kinds of, we could see all kinds of the cars there. Still, you could still see some of them left behind. They were all beat up, bad, rotten, and all that stuff, but you could tell that's what they were. You know, if you really quick glance, you probably wouldn't realize it. But if you looked at it, oh my gosh, you could see the big wheels. It was like, whoa, this is awesome. So we get up there, and sure enough, there was 2 freaking steam engines with the coal cars on the back of them still sitting there. And you could see the tracks kind of split, and those two steam engines were sitting side by side. It just left there. They looked pretty good. Of course, back then there was a lot of stuff that was made out of wood on those, and a lot of it had been rotted away and all that stuff. But the engine itself, both of them engines looked pretty good to me. So we were looking at it, and it said, I forgot now, 250 something off to the right from what it looked like, these 2 trains. And so we took a right, and we just walking around. And he brought one of his metal detectors, because you just never know. And he was, and we tried to, there was a few things on there. I haven't told you. I'm trying to rush. I've already been on here 19 minutes, almost 20 minutes. But it's a story that's so awesome. But he had his metal detector. He was going back and forth. But on the map, there was a couple of things like it showed a huge tree there, like the Tree of Life at Disney or something. That's what it reminded me of. But we came across a tree. Well, I should say remains of a tree. It was dead. It was it was big, but it was dead. It was all and so right around where that X was probably 30 feet from that tree. He broke out that metal detector. Well, he had it going anyways, but he went around with that metal detector, and he didn't even get back to that tree 5 feet. Beep, 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 beep. And he went back, beep, 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 went back and forth. Oh, man, what is it? So I got the we had one of them little trowels, or what do you call it? Not trowel. Anyways, metal thing. And I dug, I was digging. And sure enough, it looked like a coin. And he went over, whoop, whoop, yep. So I cleaned off the coin, and I took my water there, and I poured a little bit on it, and that was a freaking gold coin. And we could see the date on it. It wasn't that bad. I think it said 1873 or something like that. It's been a while, folks, but I knew it was 1870 something. He said, this is really something there. He says, you may not. He says, maybe we better keep sticking around this area, and who cares? We'll set up tent right over here. So it was getting late. I looked at my clock. I think it was 3:30. It gets dark up there around 5:30 or 6 at that time. And we found a couple more coins there, and they were getting closer together. And but I started setting up the tent while he was still doing his thing there. And he had he said, this is a major thing here. That detective was going freaking crazy. But I had the tent all. He says, let's just wait. It's getting dark. Who knows how deep this is? It looked like it could be down as much as 3 to 4 feet. He says, and we brought one of them little shovels there that the Army guys carry. So, digging 3 or 4 feet down there, going to take us all day. So we had a good meal. We brought, the stuff, and we had a battery-powered radio. We was listening. Yeah, we can get radio up there because he had one of them things he stuck around the tree there, and then extra antenna so we could listen to music. Excuse me. So we had a good night. We got up the next morning. Of course, it gets light early in the morning up there. I think it was like 5 o'clock, 5:15 in the morning. The sun started coming up. I'm going, what? Anyways, that's Maine for you. In the late summer, right around, well, not late summer, beginning of summer, the longest day, it light in the morning at 4:30, 20 after 4 in the morning. You can start seeing the sun coming, not, slow. And by 4:45, you can see whatever you're doing, even in the woods. It was just awesome. So we had a good breakfast there, and we were really excited. So we tore over there. We started digging and digging and digging. And sure enough, that metal detector was still going crazy. We had a hole maybe 4 feet wide, maybe. And so far, we won't get down 2 feet, but it took us probably, I don't know, an hour, maybe. Let's make a long story short. We're getting up there. We get down to 5 feet, and he hit something. He says, oh, my gosh. And I started digging around it, and it was a huge, it looked like it was a good 3 feet long, maybe, and about 2 feet wide. And there was some huge, he dug around a huge thing of a chain, just like you hear in the movies. Well, I says, how are we going to do this? Well, we just dug and dug and dug. And I remember it was like 2:30 or 3 o'clock it was. And we had that whole thing dug all the way around. You know what it was? It looked like one of them doggone chests, one of them treasure chests. And it wasn't made of wood, but it looked like it was also starting to rust a lot. I said, what are we going to do? Well, we were messing around with it, and it had a big lock on it. I'm telling you, I know it sounds stupid, foolish, ridiculous. That's the way it was. Great big lock on it. And we were messing with, and the thing just fell right off. It just fell right off. And the chain, I said, wow, this is unbelievable. So, anyways, we get the chain off, and he says, well, we might be able to open this right now. So we slowly started, and he shut it. Because it looked like even the top wanted to come off of it. I said, come on, hurry up. I'm dying to see what's in there. So I grabbed one and he grabbed it. We slowly started to open it. And my eyes got bigger and bigger. I thought my buddy was going to pass out. He started hyperventilating. We looked in there. It was a huge freaking chest filled, and I mean filled with gold coins. There was no way we could have ever got this out of the ground. So you know what we did? You're going to laugh at this. We jumped out, and I went back to the car. And I get everything I could find. I got the ice chest, which screw the ice. I don't want the ice anymore. See, I got the ice chest. I got a bunch of bags that he had in there. Ziploc bag. Listen, anything. I had mine anyways. And then I found this big leather pouch, whatever it was that he carried. I don't know what it was. He carried something in it. So anyways, I went running back there, and he was there. He was just sitting there. He smoked, and he just, I can't believe it. No, I can't believe it. He goes, you owe me now. I can't believe it either, I said. So we started filling up them things, and we made sure we got every last one of them coins, and we took us 3 trips back to that car. The car wasn't that far. I don't know, miles. I don't remember. It was enough. I was freaking beat. We were doing it right up until I think it was 7:30 that night. Even in the dark, I didn't care. We had it all loaded up in the car in the back seat of the floor. All right, let's wrap this thing up here. So we got back to the home, and we told our wives what was going on, and of course, like that. And it wasn't 3 weeks later. Boink, boink, I heard come knocking on the door, and it was my friend. And he introduced this man. He says, Gordon, this is, back then he called me by my name, not the old man. I wasn't really known that much by the old man. I just made a comment about it when I was a kid about some guy. He looks, anyways, I'll get onto that another time. He says, this is a gentleman from the IRS, and this other guy here is from the National Treasures or whatever it was. They gave us an option. He says, you can keep some of that. Most of it's going to have to be turned over to the state of Maine, and you have to pay taxes on it. Or you can turn it over, and they'll take it and stick it in one of the museums here in the state. Or you think we did. We didn't even get nothing. But wait a minute. Remember those coins, a couple of coins we found there on the ground? We never told them about them. We got those. We got 4 coins, so we split 2 up. We had 2 coins apiece. I still got them to this day. Pretty awesome. Well, anyways, I got so many stories I could tell you about state of Maine. You won't believe it. But anyways, I've been on here so long. I'm sorry, folks. This is the old Mainer. If you like it, I got a lot more. Give me some of them likes here and let me know what you think. And we'll catch you at another time. I want to say God bless to the veterans. God bless our policemen. God bless our firemen. God bless the policemen. Maybe they make mistakes every once in a while, but how would you like to do that job? I did it. I know what it's like, but don't give you the right to be a cop with a badge and a gun and be a jerk either. Get rid of them. But we got great police officers. All right. God bless you. The old Mainer. We will see ya.